there, folks. Welcome back to Rule of Thumb. Today I thought I would bring you along for a real quick and easy recipe. I'm going to show you how I make cornbread. As with all recipes that you see from me, feel free to add, change, delete, make it your own. But this is how I do mine. And I'll tell you about a couple variations that I might do depending on the season or depending on the dinner I'm making it for. But this is pretty much my base recipe. So, what I got here is 1 cup of cornmeal and 1 cup of white whole wheat flour. You can use all-purpose. You could use all whole wheat. You could use bread flour if you want. You're just going to get a little bit more rise out of it. So, and you could cut back on your baking powder. So I've got 1 cup of cornmeal, 1 cup of flour. I've got 4 teaspoons of baking powder. So like I said, if you use bread flour or self-rising flour, you could cut back on that a little bit. I have a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of white pepper, which I find is a little milder. A lot of cornbread recipes do not call for pepper. I like pepper in everything, so mine has pepper in it. So what I did is I put that all in there and I whisked that up together. And then in here I've got 1 cup of milk and 1 beaten egg. So I have that mixed together. I've got a 1/4 cup of melted butter. And this here is 1 15-ounce can of corn. So what I do is I drain the liquid off and I put it in my Ninja and I blend it up because I don't like it to be super chunky in my cornbread. Some people will use cream style corn. Some people don't put corn in there at all. This is how I like to do mine. So it's 1 15-ounce can of whole kernel corn that I blended up. And then I have 2 heaping tablespoons of honey here. And I put mine in there like that because then it doesn't stick to the bowl. So just a little pro tip there. And I use honey instead of sugar. You could use regular sugar. You could use maple syrup. You could use light brown sugar, you could use corn syrup. I mean, you know, use the sweetener of your choice. This is what I chose to use. So all I'm going to do is I made a little well here in the center of my flour, and I'm going to go ahead and get my wet ingredients in here. So we'll get the eggs in there, and then we will get, oh, and yeah, you have to splash on yourself. That's part of making cornbread, apparently. So we'll get that in there. And I'm going to start incorporating this here. And you don't want to overmix it because you don't want your cornbread to get tough. So, you know, just, you're really just trying to get it to come together. Once you started to get some of that liquid in there, I'm going to go ahead and get my butter in there. Alright, so just going to get this thoroughly mixed here. It doesn't take long. It's a pretty easy process. Now, as far as changing this up for different meals or for your own taste, there is lots of things you can do. You can make this a spicier Tex-Mex style cornbread. You can add in green chilies. You could add in chipotle peppers. You could add a pinch of cayenne. You could use a smoked paprika or a sweet paprika and give it a little bit different flavor that way. There's really, I mean, there's a lot of things that you could do. You could go more Italian with this and make like an Italian style cornbread. You could add some Italian seasoning. You could add olives. Let's see, what else could we do here? You could do more of a Mediterranean style cornbread, maybe do a little oregano in there. You could even add tuna into it and make a tuna cornbread and serve it more as like a main dish with a salad on the side, like a green salad on the side. That's something you could do. I mean, there's really endless possibilities to what you can do with cornbread. It's pretty much just a vessel for whatever flavors you want to do. So what I got here is a 9x9 baking dish. I do not own cast iron pans because cast iron and I do not get along. I have owned many over the years, and unfortunately this is one of the battles that I have lost, which is I think part of it is that my style of cooking doesn't use cast iron often enough, and so then if it sits for a while and isn't used, then you have to retreat it, and I don't know. It just doesn't work for the way I cook. So I use a regular pan, which works well for me. Excuse my banging, I just want to get as much of that off there as I can. So this is a 9x9 pan. It's well greased. I sprayed it. Just make sure there's no air bubbles in there. I'm going to get this into a preheated 425 degree oven. It could take about 20 minutes or so. I usually start checking it at 15 to see where it's at. What you're basically looking for is to get golden brown on the top and a toothpick inserted in the center coming out clean. So I will bring you back when we get to that point and show you what the finished result. Okay folks, welcome back. So we pulled this cornbread out of the oven. I've let it sit here and cool for a few minutes. It was in the oven for, so this is cooled down. It was in the oven for a total of 22 minutes. And as you can see, we'll hold this up a little, it's got a nice golden brown around the edge. The top is set. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece of this so we can try it. Run the knife around the edge, but it's completely separated from the sides, which is good. Alright, got a little plate here. Right. And grab a spatula. Get this out of here. The first one is always the most difficult. Alright. Look at that. Still steam coming off of it. I don't know if you folks can see that or not. But look at the crumb, look at how bouncy it is. It's exactly what you want. So let's give it a taste test. How about that? I like the edge piece. It's my favorite. Perfectly moist. Great flavor. It's exactly what you're looking for. Now, as I said, this is a base recipe. From here, sky's the limit. This is a very, in my opinion, kind of a traditional cornbread. It's got that, really solid corn flavor. It's not sweet, it's not spicy, it's just middle of the road, good old-fashioned plain cornbread. So, like I said, from here you can go either way. You could kick up the sweetness if you wanted and add more honey, maple syrup, brown sugar, molasses, lots of different things you could do in that direction. And then the reverse is true as well. You could go completely spicy, or you can go super savory. Everybody likes to add bacon to everything. You could totally do that. There's lots of ways that you could, bump up the savoriness. You could add some caramelized onions to this. That would be a way to make it more savory. If you wanted to do savory and sweet, you could add sweet onion jam into this. So I could go on forever with suggestions on how you could change this. This is how you start. So this is your base recipe. Give this a try. I hope you like it. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. Come back and see us soon. And as always, I hope you had a great day.